Welcome to the series of Oracle Fusion Account Payable demonstration. In this video, we will see how to create invoice by using purchase order receipt match with invoice. First, we shall go to Navigator, Payable function. We should select the invoice task under Payables folder. Here, click on Create Invoice Task. The invoice work page will appear. Here the fields which are marked in star are the mandatory fields. Here you need to enter the supplier name, for which you are booking the invoice. As soon as you enter the supplier name, system will default the supplier number, supplier site, currency, payment terms, payment method, etc. from supplier master level. Now you only need to enter the invoice number and invoice amount, as per the invoice which supplier has sent. Now once you have entered the header level info, let us go to the invoice lines. In order to get the invoice lines from purchase order receipts, simply click on Match Invoice Lines. Match Invoice Line window will appear. Here, you need to enter the purchase order number. Or, if you do not know the purchase order number, in that case you can use search function to find purchase order against which you want to record the invoice. Here, in addition to searching by PO number, we can also select receipt number to match invoice lines. Match invoice line page will be shown with all the received purchase order lines. Select the purchase order line or lines for which supplier has sent the invoice. You can see the ordered quantity, available quantity and billed quantity, etc. By clicking Purchase Order hyperlink, you can also see details of purchase order. Now you can see the details of purchase order. Close the window to get back to invoice page. Now let's enter the quantity that is received and price into the invoice. Once you have selected the required matching lines, click on Apply button. Doing so, system will automatically create invoice lines, and it will default details from the purchase order. Now once the invoice header and lines details are entered, click on Save button to save invoice. You can also click on the purchase order section which shows the details of auto-defaulted from the purchase order. Further, if you want to record the freight charges at the time of invoice billing that has been mentioned in supplier invoice, select Match to Receipt Charges. Enter the details for the mandatory fields which are marked as star. Just like charge type, freight amount, supplier name, supplier site, purchase order number. And click on Search, system will again show the line, available for receipt. Select the raw for which you may have a tentative receipt of goods. Click on Apply and OK button. And system generates the freight line as well. Now once you have reviewed all the invoice details, go to Actions and validate the invoice. This is a required control, and after invoice validation only, you will be able to approve and pay the invoice. So that during invoice validation, system will validate whether all the invoice details have been entered correctly. And if everything is correct, invoice status will change to validate. Otherwise, system will put the invoice on hold. Once validated, you can send the invoice for approval and pay it. Click on Save and Close. So this was about invoice processing in Fusion Payables. Now you are ready to perform transaction of creation of invoice through purchase order and receipt match. Thank you for watching this video.